It was one of the worst scams I've ever seen, and I'm gonna tell the story. I will also tell experiences I've had, some in which I've actually been scammed, some in which I've caught it ahead of time. Tune in so that you are not one of these people losing thousands upon thousands of dollars. We've all seen it on Facebook Marketplace, the deal that is too good to be true. Now, there is the needle in the haystack where the deal is real, but probably 99 out of 100 times, there is a reason, there is a scam. And so this customer's telling me, right? He sees a beautiful, something similar to this trailer right here. He sees a beautiful enclosed trailer on Facebook Marketplace. We sell this trailer for around the $7,000 mark. And I think he was seeing this trailer used for $2,000 to $3,000. And even on the used market, a really nice enclosed trailer like this, that's an absolute steal of a deal. And so he's messaging a guy back and forth, and the guy talks about meeting him at work. My customer who's looking at buying from me has to actually drive 2 hours away to see this guy. And I'll even preface, with a lot of the stuff I see scam-wise, number one, your antennas have to be up when the price is too good to be true. And what I see happen in a lot of cases, just right off the bat, is people are trying to grab deposits or PayPal, things like that. They're expecting money up front. And so you're not actually interacting, with a human being, talking to them face to face. And usually in almost every case, when you actually get to the point of dealing with someone face to face, that's how you know you're not dealing with a scam, right? So this customer sets up a time to come see this trailer. Everything kind of seems somewhat normal, except for the fact that the price is too good to be true. So he drives 2 hours away and he's gonna meet this guy at work. And so my customer gets to the guy's parking lot where he works, and the guy's out in his car waiting for him, and he comes out, and the trailer's nowhere to be seen. So he didn't see the trailer. The guy has a story, and he says, well, I had to come out on lunch, and I don't have the trailer with me, but it's parked at this address, and this is the code. I'm gonna give you the code. It's locked behind a gate. I'm gonna give you the code where you can get it. And right there, obviously, who wants to give money to a person without actually seeing the product? But this is what scammers do. They create such heightened emotion with you. You're so excited about getting this phenomenal deal that you overlook some of these obvious things. And so this guy is telling him emphatically, it's at this location. He's giving him the address. So my customer, smartly in this case, does not hand him over the money to go get this trailer. And everything that might happen in someone's mind when they're in a situation like that is they might be thinking, well, I could give this guy my money, and if the trailer's not actually there, I'll go in. The guy works at this spot. I'll go in, I'll be able to get my money back. And these people build off of these little white lies, right? Does this guy actually work at the building that he's parked outside of? There's absolutely nothing that proves that. So they just do little things that you can find a way to justify in your mind, and that is how very bad things happen. So what my customer does, he said, well, I'm gonna go to this location and look at the trailer first. The guy hasn't given me the code yet, but I should be able to see it behind the gate like the guy is saying. So he does not agree to give the guy's money. Now, customer is driven 2 hours away to see this trailer. He gets the address from the guy, and then he goes and drives. He's got to drive another 10, 15 minutes away from the actual location that they're at. Even on the way, he Googles and looks at this on the map, and it doesn't look like a place in Google Maps that there's even a place where a trailer could stay behind a gate and things like that. So he gets to this location, there's no trailer, there's no gate, nothing lines up with the story. He tries calling the guy is ghosting him at this point. This is what used to be the case. If you got their number, this was just a much safer situation. We're here in Jackson, Michigan, right? So you got a 517 area code, and there's something out there that now I'm getting spam calls all the time from 517 area codes. There's some, programs out there that you can generate different numbers that make it look like you're local, but you're actually not. But it also could be a number that's, out of state. And I myself have some interesting stories. I've sold tons of pieces of equipment. We've got a dealership here, right? And I sell brand new equipment. Before that point, I was buying and selling used equipment. And that was sort of the rule of thumb to go by, is usually a scammer will not give you their actual number. And stuff I've seen time and time again on Facebook Marketplace is people have a deal, they want you to PayPal them some money, or they want something of yours and they want to PayPal you money. Anytime I hear PayPal, my scam alert is going off. And anytime I have just a hunch that I'm dealing with potential scam, I ask someone for their phone number. If they're not willing to give you their phone number, then I would be a little bit skeptical. Some people think, well, you don't want to give them your number. I don't think a scammer can do anything with your phone number to actually get your money. Okay, so I would rather get someone on the phone, and if I see that they have an out-of-state area code or there's a strong accent, it seems like they're not who they portray themselves to be in this Facebook picture, you want to gather as much information as possible before money is potentially exchanged. And so that has got me out of a lot of situations that have seemed fishy. I've been scammed just from people that you give them a deposit to hold a piece of equipment and then all of a sudden they're ghosting you. And so that's happened to me before. It comes down to a risk tolerance because you guys, they're looking for these phenomenal deals. Sometimes you want to give people a deposit to hold it. I've given out hundreds of deposits to secure used pieces of equipment, and that's only happened to me one time that I got stiffed. I think it really helps, like I've talked about, to get someone over the phone. You can get a really good feel if this is a legit person, if it's an honest person talking to them over the phone. I'm an entrepreneur. I have a higher risk tolerance. Some of you guys would say I would never give a deposit, but ultimately I'm a numbers guy. If I've given out hundreds of deposits and it's helped me make thousands and thousands of dollars off buying and selling equipment, for me to lose a few $100s in one case, that offsets the risk. Now, other stuff I've dealt with, I've bought a lot of ATVs and UTVs. Safeguard yourself from buying used power sports and make sure that they have a title. I've seen this question as well. Should you buy an ATV or something without a title? I'll say this, when it's a trailer and it's on the roadway, it should have a title. It should always have a title. Now, here in Michigan, if a trailer weighs under 2,500 pounds, they're actually not titled. I can't speak to your guys' states, but it actually is normal for it not to have a title, but they should have a registration. Let's say that the trailer weighs under 2,500 pounds. For me, like on an enclosed trailer, a 7x14 enclosed trailer, that's right around the 2,500 pound mark. But if I was buying a used 6x12 enclosed trailer, that's under that weight class that in Michigan, I would expect it to have a title. It depends, how much of a gambler are you? Do you want to risk giving someone money and then you go to get this registered at your DMV and it says that it's registered to someone else's name? You can go through a process that when something doesn't have a title, you can get a surety bond. You can go to an insurance company and get this, and you can go through a process to get something titled that is not titled. And I've done that hundreds of times. One of those steps in getting the surety bond is to get a VIN inspection by a police officer. So they have to come out, there has to be a legible VIN on that, looks at that VIN number, and then they run it in a report to see if that piece of equipment is stolen. I've gotten, again, probably over 100 surety bonds. Twice, those inspections have come back and it's shown as a stolen piece of property. So again, it's a risk tolerance game. If it's something that's supposed to be titled and it doesn't have a title, you're running a risk of that being stolen. Being the gambler, entrepreneur that I am, I look at 98 out of 100 as a win. But I've gotten to the point that I've grown my business so much that I don't want to deal with a police officer coming out. And what has happened in those two cases that's happened to me, they have seized that piece of equipment and I was out all of the money. And guess what? Those deals felt like they were too good to be true. But I've bought a lot of deals that felt like they were too good to be true, and they did not come back as stolen. So there's so many different risk tolerances. Come to find out, the guy that I bought one of these, UTVs from, he was shady looking back on it, right? And he probably stole it or got it from someone in a sketchy situation where it was stolen. You are the only person in that situation that's gonna lose because they're gonna take that piece of equipment from you and you're out the cash. And there's just all sorts of ways that you can be scammed. So what have I seen as a business owner? Businesses are prone to getting scammed all the time. So early on, within the first few months of me opening my dealership, we're selling a bunch of snowblowers, and these people call up on the phone and they want these snowblowers. They say, can I pay with a card over the phone? I'm gonna have my nephew come pick this up. You swipe their credit card, everything enters into the bank account, all seems well. Someone comes a couple days later or the next day and picks up two really nice snowblowers. Then I look into my statements and this money bounces back because the actual credit card owner reported fraudulent charges. And guess what happens? It gets pulled from my account. I am out of that money. So just so many different ways you can go through with equipment and scam people. So you got to be extremely careful. If something doesn't feel right, you should be able to ask that person so many questions to make yourself comfortable. When you start to ask questions and there is a ton of resistance, ask yourself, would a reasonable person be okay with me asking these questions? Yes, they would. And so boom, that just leads to, I might be dealing with a scam once again. So be careful out there. Just some of my experiences dealing with scams. We've graduated from Craigslist to Facebook Marketplace, and there's all sorts of stuff out there. They try to protect it, but you just got to be careful. So a little bit different video from what I normally shoot, but just something I thought was an interesting story to tell you guys. If it's equipment reviews or stuff about zero-turn mowers, trailers, follow us on the channel. Until that next video, we'll see you.